Reporting on crime is an ugly business. You come across horrible details that reveal what human beings are truly capable of in their darkest hours. But some crimes go even beyond that. They make the hair on the back of your neck stand up. One such incident was reported on New Year's Eve in the national capital. Now, there are multiple versions doing the rounds about what happened. We will start with the police version. A 20-year-old girl was returning home after work on Saturday. Her scooter met with an accident near Kanjhawala, which is in the outskirts of Delhi. The car which hit her did not stop and it sped away from the site. But this young woman's body actually got entangled in the car's wheel. She was dragged along the road for almost 13 kilometers, 47 long minutes. Can you for a moment imagine the pain, the trauma, the horror this woman went through in those 47 minutes? She was dragged by a car, possibly at high speed, over 13 kilometers. There were 5 people inside this car, but according to their version, no one heard anything or felt anything. Is that possible? And when they did, after 13 kilometers, they removed the body, left the woman to die, and they fled. She was later discovered naked with multiple fractures and injuries. Some reports have also claimed that her head was almost separated from her body. The police identified the 5 men by tracking their car. All of them have been sent to 3 days in police custody. The Home Minister Amit Shah has now appointed Special CP Shalini Singh to handle this case. First, listen in to what the police is saying, because that version the family is not buying.
दिल्ली पुलिस जो विक्टिम है उसके परिवार से लगातार संपर्क में है। जो भी इन्वेस्टिगेशन हो रहा है उसकी उनको पूरी जानकारी दी जा रही है। इसके अलावा जो 5 एक्यूज्ड हैं इनकी 3 दिन की पुलिस कस्टडी मिली है, जो फर्दर इन्वेस्टिगेशन करेंगे। उस इन्वेस्टिगेशन के आधार पर जो भी नए तथ्य आएंगे और जो फॉरेंसिक टीम्स और लीगल टीम्स हैं उनके असिस्टेंट्स के बाद जो पुलिस अपना काम है, पुलिस इन्वेस्टिगेशन जल्दी से जल्दी कंप्लीट करेगी।
Now, that's the version that has been put out by cops and the accused. But the victim's family is not buying it. The girl's mother believes this is a case of sexual assault, like what happened to Nirbhaya, that these 5 men assaulted the 20-year-old and left her to die. The family, in fact, today staged a protest outside the Sultanpuri police station. You can see those pictures there. They are also accusing cops of a cover-up.
तो है मेरी बेटी के साथ 5 लोगों ने गलत काम करा है। मेरी बेटी के साथ मारा है, कूटा है, नंगी करके गलत काम करा है और फिर उसको मार के गाड़ी के नीचे घसीटा है। गाड़ी के नीचे घसीटा है मेरी बेटी को।
लोग थे उनसे कभी मिली, कभी देखा उनको कौन है?
मैं नहीं जानती किसी को, मैंने नहीं देखा किसी को। उसके तन पे कपड़ा नहीं होता, एक्सीडेंट होता है तो एक तन पे क्या कपड़ा नहीं रहते। एक्सीडेंट तो हमने पुलिस वाले पीछे पीछे घूम रहे हैं। 1.5 घंटे गाड़ी चली है, 1.5-2 घंटे, मगर किसी ने नहीं देखा पुलिस वालों ने।
Now, the Delhi Commission for Women is also raising these questions. DCW chairperson Swati Maliwal has asked the Delhi police to clarify whether the victim was sexually harassed or not. Frankly, we also have some questions about this absolutely terrifying incident. How do 5 people in a car not realize that they are dragging a human being for 13 kilometers? Is that possible? Why was there no police patrol or checkpoints in this route? And in just a minute, you'll also hear from an eyewitness who's making some very important points that the police in Delhi will need to answer, because these are embarrassing points that he's raising. And the question is, why are the cops so eager to rule out sexual assault without even conducting a test? The Aam Aadmi Party is smelling a cover-up here. They claim one of the 5 accused is a member of the BJP, that the Delhi police and the Lieutenant Governor are joining hands to cover up what happened to this young girl. AAP workers staged a massive protest outside the LG's residence today. The cops responded by firing water cannons to disperse the protesters. Those pictures are on your screens. Meanwhile, Delhi Delhi's Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has called this a rarest of the rare case. He wants the accused to be given the death penalty.
यह था कि हमारा समाज किस तरफ जा रहा है जब कुछ लड़कों ने अपनी गाड़ी से एक लड़की को कई किलोमीटर तक घसीटा और उसकी बहुत दर्दनाक मौत हो गई। अभी उसका पोस्टमार्टम मैंने पता किया था, अभी पोस्टमार्टम शायद चल रहा है और जो भी उसकी रिपोर्ट आएगी मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि और अपील करता हूं कि चाहे जितने भी रसूख वाले क्यों ना हों जो दोषी हैं उनको सख्त से सख्त सज़ा मिलनी चाहिए। ऐसा ये तो रेयरेस्ट ऑफ रेयर क्राइम्स में आता है, ऐसे लोगों को तो फांसी की सज़ा मिलनी चाहिए।
एलजी साहब कह रहे हैं कि मेरा सर जो है शर्म से झुक गया। मुझे लगता है एलजी साहब को बर्खास्त करना चाहिए। मैं केंद्र सरकार से ये डिमांड करता हूं कि एलजी विनय सक्सेना जी को तुरंत बर्खास्त करना चाहिए। कैसे कैसे लोगों के हाथ में हमने पूरी की पूरी व्यवस्था दे दी। इनको कोई दिल्ली का कोई आइडिया नहीं, ये दिल्ली में कभी रहे नहीं।
देखिए, जो घटना हुई बहुत ही निंदनीय घटना है और वाकई सर शर्म से झुकता है और ओछी राजनीति आम आदमी पार्टी के लोग खेल रहे हैं वो निंदनीय है। आरोप लगा रहे हैं कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी और लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर साहब के जो मिली भगत है उसकी वजह से कार्रवाई में देर हुई और चूंकि पुलिस चश्मदीद गवाह का बयान रिकॉर्ड नहीं कर रही है। क्या पुलिस को पता था कि वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी का कार्यकर्ता है या क्या है? सौरभ भारद्वाज के जो शब्द हैं वो किसी सड़क छाप गली गुंडे के जो गली का गुंडा होता है उसकी तरह शब्द है, एक विधायक नहीं लगते वो।
Politics aside, the Delhi police has a lot to answer for. The young woman's body was dragged for 47 minutes over 13 kilometers. The car passed through 4 station jurisdictions, which means areas covered by at least 20 to 25 PCR vans. And remember, this was New Year's Eve, so there should have been more patrolling on the streets. This is when New Year's Eve is one of the days when the Delhi police is on the highest alert. Yet, not a single van spotted this car with a dead body. Many eyewitnesses, and we are speaking to one of them here on the show, also called up and informed the police, but they failed to act on time. In fact, one eyewitness who is joining us, Deepak Dahiya, will tell us how not one, not two, but 3 PCR vans crossed him while he was on the phone line with the police to say that such a thing has happened, but no one took him seriously. But if you ask these questions to the Delhi police, they will respond with force and violence. Just ask our reporters and take a look at what happened to them. The police displayed extreme high-handedness while dealing with our reporters, Priyank and Ila, while they were just trying to report about this. In fact, they pushed and dragged our reporter Ila while she was covering the incident. Now, ironically, there were no female cops present at the location either. Under pressure, the cops have apologized for their behavior. We need to put that on record, but take a look at what had happened.
ये कोई तरीका नहीं है, ये कोई तरीका नहीं है, ये कोई तरीका नहीं है। दिल्ली पुलिसकर्मी नहीं है, आपके पास महिला पुलिसकर्मी नहीं है, आपने धक्का कैसे दिया, हाथ पकड़ के कैसे खींचना है, और देखिए किस तरह से यहाँ पर।
The new year came out as a very big horror for the residents of the national capital when body of a girl was found naked right on the middle of the streets. Her clothes were also torn. The Delhi police was swift to react on the social media platform which was circulating this video, claiming to be a sexual assault angle behind this incident. But later to that, the Delhi police have also changed their stand and they are saying that they are not ruling out any kind of possibility. A medical board has also been formed, but because of this incident, there's a massive protest which has been happening right outside the police station, which has also turned violent at several occasions. We from here now were also reporting from this location where we saw that the MLA's vehicle was attacked, the FSL team vehicle was also attacked. But in the meanwhile, the Delhi police still maintains that they are trying to find out every possible motive which could be behind this particular incident. Our crew was also physically manhandled by the Delhi police team, which is certainly representative of the rattleness of the police officials who could not stop this kind of horrific incident happening even after series of deployments which were made. The victim was also dragged for 13 kilometers, which has crossed multiple police station area, which is certainly worrisome trend which has come out after this incident.
Swati Maliwal is the DCW chief. She's joining us on the broadcast as well. Swati, thank you very much for your time here on Mirror Now. We've just spoken to the family. The family is convinced there is sexual assault involved here. Is that your analysis as well? Because the 5 men are claiming they simply didn't know that a woman had come under their wheel and they were dragging her along for 47 minutes.
I think it is a very shocking and very horrific case. And there are several questions that the Delhi police must answer. We've issued summons to the Delhi police because I want to understand exactly what happened. How is it that 5 men claim that they did not realize that a live woman has come under their car and they drag her for 12 kilometers? And this is the version of the Delhi police as well, because we've seen in today's papers how the police has said that because music was being played very loud, that is why these people did not realize that they were pulling along a live woman. I think it is extremely shocking. How is it that Delhi police came to this conclusion within a few hours of investigation? What kind of an investigation is this? Right now, even the postmortem report has not come. Let it at least come. Let the rape be ruled out first. That is the first and foremost step. The second thing is that maybe this girl was traveling alone and these men were in a drunken state and they tried to sexually harass her. They said something to her. They tried to stop her. They tried to molest her, probably. And when she resisted, they attacked her and they did this to her. This can also be one of the angles. Why is it that is not being explored? And that angle will not even come in the post-mortem report. So for the Delhi police to completely rule that out and to intimidate journalists and tell them that there was no rape, and if you talk about a rape or if you talk about any kind of a sexual harassment, action will be taken against you. I think this speaks very poorly of them. And the bigger question is, it was New Year's Eve. How is it that she gets dragged along for 12 kilometers and not even a single PCR stops the car? No checkposts of the police. And what are these tall claims of the police where they claim that because they have 80,000 police officers, they are on the streets, they are manning the streets of Delhi, it is very safe on New Year's Eve. How safe was it for this 20-year-old girl who was the sole bread earner of her family? She had only gone for work. Can women not go out for work at night in the state of Delhi? It's extremely shocking. We've issued summons to the Delhi police. I think they have a lot to explain. And whatever reports I'm seeing and whatever conversations we've had with the family as well as with the eyewitnesses, I think Delhi police has a lot more to answer. And I'm very shocked that till now, no action has been taken against certain officers of Delhi police, which I feel must be done.
Okay, so we'll just, again, as I say, let's not jump the gun. There is a post-mortem that is being conducted. The family doesn't know what the result of that post-mortem is. We'll try and find that out as well. But the family is convinced that the girl was sexually assaulted. You're saying it could have happened. But something as horrifying as this has happened in the national capital, can I ask you whether what you think about the whole thing being politicized? Because we've seen some massive protests today by the Aam Aadmi Party outside the LG's residence. Where was the need to do that?
Look, I'm not a political person. I have been raising this issue about lack of safety of women for the past several years as an activist, and now for the past 7 years as the Delhi Commission for Women chief. Every day, over 500 women and girls are approaching the Delhi Commission for Women. They are screaming, they are crying, there is sexual harassment, there is rape, there is domestic violence, there is cyber crime. The number of crimes and the brutality of crimes has gone up a lot. They are screaming and are in pain. Their pain has become our pain. We are screaming. But unfortunately, we are exactly where we were 10 years back. 10 years back, the Nirbhaya incident happened and everybody was out on the streets. Everybody was protesting. People were wanting better laws. People were wanting better systems. But today, 10 years later, we are exactly where we were, and we are still talking about simple simple, basic necessities about having a police which is more accountable, about ensuring more resources to the police, which is not the case right now. What is the condition of our forensic laboratories? What is the condition of our trial courts? Why is it that after 10 years of Nirbhaya gang rape, horrific case, we are still in a situation where there is no deterrence? People are able to get away with crimes. Why is it that there is no certainty and swiftness of punishment, which I feel that until that is there, not much will change, because people right now, they feel that they can operate with impunity. Criminals are operating with impunity, and this is a classic case, an example for that. How is it that they were able to just walk away? 12 kilometers, they drag the girl, and nothing happens. And there are eyewitnesses accounts which have said, there is this one man, I've been hearing him on the national television today, and he has been saying again and again how he followed them for 1.5 hours and made over 20 calls to the Delhi police. For 1.5 hours, a citizen of Delhi decides to follow this car to do his bit. Where was the Delhi police? Were they sleeping? So if we don't have an accountable system, I don't think anything will change. And I think the issue today should be about the complete lack of functioning of Delhi police, especially in this case. And I think action should be taken against certain officers of Delhi police for conducting the investigation in the manner that they have done till now.
Okay, Swati Maliwal, we'll leave it there for the moment. In fact, the eyewitness you're talking about is Deepak Dahiya. He's the main eyewitness in this case, and he's joining me on the broadcast. Deepak, हम लोगों ने आपके साउंड बाइट सुबह से सुने हैं. आप जो चीजें बोल रहे हैं वो दिल दहलाने वाली हैं. सबसे पहले आप हमें बता रहे हैं कि आपने इस एक गाड़ी को बार-बार उसी स्ट्रेच ऑफ रोड पे यू टर्न्स लेते देखा. तो आप हमें बता सकते हैं ये कितने यू टर्न्स लिए थे और इसका पर्पस पॉसिबली क्या था?
ये 4 बार उसने गाड़ी आगे पीछे घुमाई है मैम. जैसे उसके बाद जब तीसरी बार मेरी दुकान के सामने गाड़ी आई है तो मैंने स्कूटी को वहाँ छोड़ दिया है और बलेरो गाड़ी हम लोडिंग वाली उससे उसका पीछा करने की सोची है कि लोकेशन बताता रहूँ मैं एग्जैक्ट पुलिस को. तो पुलिस से बात चल रही थी, जैसे पीसीआर से मैं संपर्क में था अच्छी तरह से, लेकिन फिर जोड़ती जैसे मैंने गाड़ी वाड़ी चेंज की उस चक्कर में वो 500 या 600 मीटर मेरे से आगे निकली गाड़ी. तो फिर जैसे उसने जोड़ती से फिर यू टर्न लिया है और जिस कट से उसने यू टर्न लिया है उससे पहले कट से मैंने यू टर्न लिया है और उसकी यू टर्न के लेने के चक्कर में वो डेड बॉडी वहीं गिर गई है और उसका मेरे को अनुमान नहीं था कि डेड बॉडी यहाँ गिर गई. लेकिन फिर भी मैं उसका जैसे अपने अंदाजे से पीछा करता रहा कि डेड बॉडी शायद इसी के साथ होगी. पुलिस से बात चलती थी मेरी, हर टाइम पुलिस से बात चलती ही रही. फिर जैसे लाडपुर पहुंचने के बाद मैंने देखा कि इसके नीचे डेड बॉडी अब है नहीं, डेड बॉडी निकल गई है कहीं भी, या जैसे इसने वहाँ यू टर्न किया वहाँ निकली. मैंने पुलिस को तुरंत सूचित किया, माँ जनाब ऐसे डेड बॉडी इसके नीचे नहीं है, वो निकल चुकी है. और मैंने नंबर इसको पहले ही बता चुका था, मगर बाकी गाड़ी है और वही गाड़ी है, वही बंदे हैं, मैं देख चुका था उनको.
दीपक, मुझे एक बात बताइए, आप कह रहे हैं आप पुलिस से लगातार संपर्क में थे, कि आप पीसीआर से लगातार संपर्क में थे और बता रहे थे कि मैं इधर हूं, मैं इस गाड़ी का पीछा कर रहा हूं. तो इस दौरान पुलिस आप तक कब तक पहुंची? ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है कि न्यू ईयर्स ईव पे वहां पर पीसीआर वैन्स नहीं थी जिनको आप साथ लेकर चल सके पीछा करने के लिए?
मैम पीसीआर तो मेरे सामने से 3 गुजरी हैं, तो लेकिन वो हम तक नहीं पहुंच पाए, या वो उस गाड़ी को रोक नहीं पाए, या मेरे को झूठा समझ रहे थे कि ये झूठ बोल रहा है, कोई और बात होगी. बाकी 3 पीसीआर मेरे सामने से गुजरी हैं और उसके बाद जैसे एक तो यहाँ लाडपुर में ही गुजरी है, एक फिर अपना कराड़ा जाने के बाद गुजरी है, फिर तीसरी पीसीआर ये अपना बेगमपुर जाने के बाद गुजरी है. गुजरी क्या, वो तो बिल्कुल रोड पे ही खड़ी थी, एक्टिव खड़ी थी, और जैसे ही गाड़ी को देख के उसने बिल्कुल रोड पे गाड़ी अपनी उतार ली थी जो उस पीसीआर उनके पास थी. मैंने बिल्कुल बगल में लगा के उनसे बोला, जनाब ये वो गाड़ी है जिसके अंदर डेड बॉडी फंसी हुई थी पिछले 1.5-2 घंटे से, आप इसको पकड़ो एक बार. लेकिन उन्होंने ऐसा कोई ध्यान ना देते हुए मेरी तरफ, उन्होंने बस मेरी इग्नोर ही कर दिया और वो गाड़ी वही 20 से 25 की स्पीड में धीरे धीरे अवंतिका की तरफ निकल गई. मैं भी फिर वहाँ से बेगमपुर से आगे बड़ी रेड लाइट से 22 वाली से मैं भी अपने यू टर्न करके अपने शॉप पे पहुँच गया मैम।
मेरा आखिरी क्वेश्चन आपसे, अल्टीमेटली पुलिस को बॉडी तक ले कौन गया फिर?
नहीं, पुलिस तो फिर उसके जैसे मैं तब तक शॉप पे पहुंचता, उस बीच पुलिस को डेड बॉडी का पता चल चुका था कि डेड बॉडी यहाँ है। फिर पुलिस ने सुधा धरना डेड बॉडी पे ही दिया, जाके वहाँ डेड बॉडी संभाले उन्होंने।
चलिए दीपक दहिया, हमसे बात करने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर स्पीकिंग टू अस. आई एम गोइंग अक्रॉस टू माय गेस्ट हु आर जॉइनिंग अस दिस इवनिंग. Vikram Singh is a former DGP of Uttar Pradesh. He is with us on the broadcast, and Ranjana Kumari is an activist. She is with us on the broadcast as well. Vikram Singh, I want to come to you first. First of all, apologies to keep the two of you waiting, but we thought it was important to put out Deepak Dahiya's account in front of you before I ask you a question, Vikram Singh. You've heard what he has said. He has said there were 3 PCR vans that passed me, and no one wants to believe what I'm telling them. And so I keep chasing this vehicle, and I'm on the phone, but the police arrives like in true Hindi films, style, when everything is over.
Well, I'm extremely shocked because the like of which I have never seen in my life ever. 22 calls, 3 PCRs going, 4 police stations, and to top it all, it was the New Year's Eve. Every area, including this one, was supposed to be converted into a cantonment or the chhavni mein tabdeel kar denge. Tall claims, but nothing like that happened. And then the rest is history. The spokesperson of the police, who had no business to meet the press, started speaking like the defense advocate of the accused and said there is no rape, it is an accident, and probably because of the loud music, they were not able to discern that there is a dead body carrying her. All of us drive. And even if a plastic bottle of mineral water comes underneath the wheel, the driver would know that something like this has happened. It is all a hogwash, and the police have a lot to do. They incorporated 2 sections of accident in the first place, and then in installments, they added 304A and other sections also. Tomorrow, they say that perhaps after the postmortem, they would be incorporating the sections of rape. Again, a premature disclosure. First, let the postmortem report come of rape and also other sections pertaining to their depravity and other things. But yes, speaking out of turn, speaking irresponsibly is extremely unprofessional. 166A of the IPC is meant specially for such police officers after the 13th Criminal Law Amendment Act, so that in case of such police officers who refuse to act or do not react in such matters, they can be sent to jail for 6 months. Nothing like that seems to have happened.
Vikram Singh, can I ask you, the eyewitness there is saying that this car took U-turns on the same stretch. It took at least 3 to 4 U-turns. In fact, it was after the second U-turn or the third U-turn that the eyewitness says that something struck me, that things are not exactly right here. What could that possibly mean? To me, and as I have been analyzing it, to me it means that these guys probably knew that there was a body, and they just somehow wanted to ensure that without getting out of the car, the body itself gets, thrown off somewhere. What is your analysis of what has happened?
Very true. It's extremely unnatural to take 4 U-turns at the dead of night unless there is specific purpose and intent. The purpose and intent are very clear: to either get rid of the body or to see whether it has been suitably disposed of or mutilated so that they cannot be related or connected to the dead body. It is not natural for people to take not even 1 U-turn. And if there are 4 U-turns, well, they have a lot of explaining to do in the 72 hours of remand that they have for the police. And the police have jolly well interrogated them separately for how many times they met the deceased or in what way did they know the deceased. That would hold the key to the investigation further.
We'll let you go. Thank you very much, sir. I do believe you have another show to join, so we'll let you go. Thank you very much for sparing the time. Ranjana Kumari, we've heard the eyewitnesses. We have heard from the family. The family is convinced. The family is saying this is not a simple case of hit and run. If it was, why was there not a shred of cloth on our daughter's body? Look, I'm not saying anything. We'll just all wait for the postmortem report to come out. But the police, A, has been very quick to dismiss any angle of sexual assault, and B, just the very failure of the police at every step.
Absolutely, Shreya. I think, we must see this case as continuously what we are hearing from earlier cases also, where police acts very irresponsibly. They come to some kind of a conclusion quickly, and perhaps the intent is to defend some people who may be, already playing the game of politics, say, trying to get out of this whole case or trying to save them with minimum punishment. And as you know, Kanjhawala case, they did not collect the evidence properly, and even Supreme Court did not accept the evidence that they had collected. So, you know that how they manipulate the whole thing. And in this case, if there were 3 PCR, I think somebody, instead of saying that they are investigating, of course they have to investigate this case. Whole country wants to know what really happened. And we are all very, very agitated the way police has acted. But what happened to these PCR? Are they not given the mandate to immediately proceed when they have heard something? They should have asked the man to sit in the car if they were not believing him, and ask him to show where this the car, and then went. Nothing they did. Nothing they did to really intervene. Of course, the body was already mutilated and already the girl was dead. But to not act, I can't understand. Then why these PCRs are there? What kind of a patrolling are they doing? And patrolling for what? So, this is one question we must ask at the very, this is a very fundamental structural issue about the police. That why they're not acting when they're asked to and they need to, and when people are in desperate situations. And secondly, which is very, very important here to understand, is that, the relationship between these boys and the girls. If family is feeling that, no, she was raped and all kinds of sexual harassment has happened, which one can clearly believe, then what kind of a relationship these boys had with this girl? Did they just spot her on the roadside, or did they know her before? So I think all those things will only come out after the police investigation. We should not come to any kind of conclusion, and police should not make irresponsible statements. That's what they do. Even the earlier case, when this girl was cut into pieces, they started making all kinds of conjectures and statements without any proof, without any investigation. That's not the role of police. They're not politicians. And on the other side, I must say, Shreya, that, every time, whether it is Aam Aadmi Party, whether all kinds of BJP politicians only know how to play games and how to get one brownie pound point over women's bodies, women's killing, women's rape, everything. But this time I'm little happy about, Amit Shah taking note of this whole case and trying to put the system in place and asking some very special and very good officer to investigate the whole case. I think this is something which needs to be done in every which case, so that we have foolproof cases and all these people get punished and not let go. Only when we let them go, then the whole impunity environment, they are responsible for impunity environment. Why don't they go and ask for a CBI inquiry? Why don't they?
It is said that prevention.
Were released. Where were these Aam Aadmi Party workers? Why did they not go and protest? So many cases of rape happen.
I agree.
Why don't they go and protest?
I agree that this should not be politicized.
Yes.
I agree that, a death like this, a murder like this should not be politicized. We have seen, and that is, I think, where the worry is. The entire narrative shifts from women's safety to politics over women's safety. So no one's talking about women's safety, no one's talking about what happened, everyone's just talking about the politics. Aam Aadmi Party ne ye kaha, BJP ne ye kaha, Congress ne ye kaha. That is where it ends. I want to ask you this, they say prevention is better than cure. Now, I don't know at what point this girl died during this entire torture. Did she die immediately as her scooter was hit, as is being claimed? Did she die somewhere in that long drag, which lasted at least 47 minutes? I don't know. I'm just thinking to myself, if this eyewitness says that he crossed 3 PCR vans, if one of them had even stopped and chased these guys, could the girl have been saved? I'm just thinking to myself, could the girl have been saved at any point? Because we don't know at what point she had died.
Shreya, you never know. What was the sequence? How did it happen? If they had spotted this car immediately, this man spotted the car immediately, and then he saw a PCR and he was talking to police. I don't know what police were talking to him. The police only had to know what is the car number, where is it located, and that area PCR should know exactly the location. So, and these days with all the location apps available, police knows exactly where it has happened. So, why did they not immediately act? Perhaps they could have saved her. I totally agree with you. You never know when she fell, and the first thing may have been that she was injured. But then when they dragged, and I am sure, as Vikram Singh was saying, that when they took many turns, they were trying to get rid of the body from the wheel. And then saying that music was too loud, so they didn't know. I mean, what kind of a statement is this? Is this police or is this the defenders of those criminals? I mean, how could they even make such a statement that if didn't they feel any kind of problem in driving, and why were they driving so slow? If there was no thing which was blocking the wheel, why were they driving so 20 kilometers an hour? I mean, what kind of a this doesn't really speaks well of the police in Delhi. They have to really tighten their belt. They really have to do
a lot
something.
doesn't add up. A lot doesn't add up either, and I think to myself, Ranjana Kumari ji, that every time something like this happens to a working woman, it happened with Soumya, it happened with Nirbhaya, it's happened with this young lady as well. Every time I think about something like this happening to a young woman who's returning from work, I think to myself, here is another layer where a parent will step in and say, don't take that call center job. Raat ko ghar wapas aogi. Don't take that media job. You'll have to do night shifts. That is what something like this done. After Nirbhaya, we had all thought that everything had changed. So many people had come on the streets of Delhi and the entire country. We thought that was a turning point. And yet, over and over again, the national capital has been shamed.
Yeah, Shreya, we have to go into deeper side of this whole psyche of people, and also men and boys, We really have to now seriously think. These are the young people. They are the future generation who are doing this kind of a heinous crime, who are engaging in really hitting, beating. Every day I'm sent some video or the other where a village boy has taken the girl and hit her and made her to, faint, and then showing to everyone, this is the boy who's killed the girl, and saying that this is what happens when you are not faithful to your boyfriend. I mean, all kinds of these things are happening with the younger generation of people. We have to think as a society what kind of messaging is happening, what kind of issues that we are really dealing at the moment with young minds. This is totally criminal. I mean, we can't push the whole generation to really commit all kinds of crime against women, and not only commit the crime, but really be, after all, didn't they feel anything about this girl who was being dragged? And her every part of the body was breaking in. She must have screamed. She must have, what kind of a mind? Look at the brutality. Look at the kind of mindset these people are suffering from. What do they think women are? Take out their frustration, take out their, on women's bodies. I mean, this is absolutely becoming something very dangerous in the long run, and was so right for working girls. It is becoming a kind of big challenge to be on the street of this city. And something will have to be done about it. As society, we have to do something.
Big challenge.
As activists, we have done this work for 40 years. As police, they have to do something.
We leave it there for the moment. What a big challenge this city is turning out to be for working girls, especially girls who have to negotiate the streets of Delhi, the national capital, at odd hours. We will leave it there for the moment, Ranjana Kumari. What an unfortunate sequence of events that has played out just as the world was entering a new year.